What if the whimsically eerie world of Over the Garden Wall was a Pokemon region? I made over 50 brand new Pokemon, including everything from a ghoulish evil legendary based on the bee, to starter Pokemon based on the main 3 characters, like the water-type starter Greggle, a small elephant based on Greg, whose unique tea kettle body shape comes from Greg's elephant costume. Its evolution Trunkettle is now a water rock type, because if you look closely, it has the rock on its head, the painted pebble that Greg consults throughout their journey. In fact, the final stage Oculite even has a signature move called Rock Fact, a rock type status move that causes the user's next attack to always be super effective, as by consulting the all-knowing rock, Oculite will learn exactly how to best strike the opponent. Wurtree is the first stage of the grass type starter, a small rabbit based on Wirt, who sports a spiraling plant bulb on its head, which resembles Wirt's iconic hat. Its evolution Wurtimber gains the dark type, as its bulb has sprouted into the roots of the Edelwood tree, which almost consumed Wirt, with its final stage Wurterror fully giving into the tree's dark powers, giving it the signature attack Edel End, a grass type status move that wraps the foe in twisted roots that prevent the target from switching out and siphons 1/8 of their HP every turn, basically making it a combination of Mean Look and Leech Seed. The first stage of the fire type starter is Cursin, a baby bird with a birding tail based on Beatrice. Its evolution is a bit larger and starts to have more human-like proportions, as its final stage Embertriss is based on Beatrice turning back into a human, which is reflected in its dress-like plumage based on human Beatrice's dress from the first intro, and in its signature attack, Flightless, a flying type status move that fully restores the user's HP, and similar to Roost, will remove the user's flying typing. However, with this move, it's for the rest of the battle. But as you travel through the early routes of the Garden Wall region, you'll run into Perkin, a feline Pokemon with skull patterns on its body and a pumpkin head, based on the pumpkin folk of Pottsfield and their cat leader Enoch. But its evolution has gone from cat to big cat with a stronger, more puma-like frame. Spidle is an early game insect spider combined with a ball of yarn. Conloom is a typical cocoon middle stage, but its final stage Arachnid is anything but typical, as it's an evil bug psychic type based on Adelaide. And just like how Adelaide was able to use her magic yarn to wrap up Wirt and Greg, Arachnid is able to use its yarn for the signature move Snaring Spool, a bug type status move similar to Sticky Web, as it lays down a magical web of yarn on the foe's field, causing the next enemy that switches in to lose 1 stage of their special defense and attack. Inimp is a small humanoid Pokemon who actually has a split evolution based on the different Tavern folk. Inimp with high attack evolve into Waylon, a normal dark type based on the Highwayman. High defense will create the normal ground type Cobbler inspired Evo. High special defense makes the Wood Carver grass type, while high special attack makes the fire type Baker evolution that launches freshly baked bread at foes. And speaking of fresh, today's video is sponsored by Cook Unity. Cook Unity is a chef-to-you meal delivery platform that connects you with hundreds of fresh, fully prepared meals from award-winning chefs. With Cook Unity, you can choose from over 400 meals nationwide each week, including 45 global cuisines and diets. All meals are handcrafted in small batches from local kitchens near you, and there are over 130 chefs on the platform, including Food Network stars, James Beard award winners, and even Michelin star master. And the meals are delivered fully cooked, so all you have to do is heat them up for 2 minutes or less and then enjoy. Now, as someone who's usually quite busy editing videos, it can be quite hard for me to fit in a good meal, and Cook Unity just completely fixes that problem. Like, take this Cajun spice shrimp scampi and linguine I tried. It was so fresh and seasoned that I thought a personal chef snuck their way into my kitchen and prepared it when I wasn't looking. But then I remembered I made it in the microwave in less than 2 minutes. Like, how is it possible I'm spending less time cooking at home just for my meals to feel more homemade? That's the magic of Cook Unity, I guess. So make sure to check out Cook Unity by using the link in my description and use my code for 50% off your first order of chef-prepared meals. It's seriously an amazing deal, so make sure to hit that link and again use my code for 50% off. Huge thank you to Cook Unity for sponsoring this video, but now let's get right back into it. Turtox is an early game poison type based on the small turtles found throughout the show. And just like in the show, consuming this turtle has terrible consequences. The poison it secretes has extreme psychedelic effects that keep keep away most potential threats. Its evolution, Tox Tank, is even more protected, as the venom that billows out of its body is now so destructive that Tox Tank hides itself inside large rocks, not to keep other Pokemon away from it, but to keep it away from other Pokemon. Vigilound is an early game canine based on Beatrice's dog, who we also see at the mill. For the most part, this Mon is super regular, but its evolution method is anything but, because it must defeat 5 Turtox in battle, at which point it'll evolve into Toxahowl. Just like how the dog consumed a turtle before turning into a crazed beast, this Pokemon has been driven absolutely psychotic by its exposure to Turtox poison. Ribbercur is a tiny frog based on Jason Funderburker, the frog that Greg gave several nicknames to over the course of the show. Its evolution, Saxatoad, is based on the many musical frogs Greg and Wirt play with on the boat. Its musical talent is even reflected in its signature ability, Tidal Tune, which causes all the user's sound-based moves to become water type and gain 25% lifesteal. Nimbrud is an angsty pure flying type cloud based on the ones Greg saw in Cloud City, and it also has a split evolution based on its gender. Female Nimbrud evolve into Cloudessa, an illustrious flying fairy type based on the Queen of the Clouds, who mostly focuses on support and healing moves, while male Nimbrud evolve into Boralore, a flying electric type based on the thunderously evil North Wind that focuses on pure damage. Mudapper is a ground type mole, which, just like many real life animals, has a very strange way of attracting mates. It crafts its own hat out of mud, and the more fashionable and well made the hat, the more attention it gets from the other members of its species. Its evolution, Faux Foil, takes this a step further, crafting an entire fake body out of mud that from far away makes it look like it's got a huge frame. And this is actually based on Old Man Langtree, who looked gigantic until he took off his coat. Gardenian Mankey is a regional Mankey that's fighting normal type and has a much darker color palette, because as we can see with Primeape, it resembles the gorilla suit that Miss Langtree's boyfriend was trapped in. The regional Annihilape even has the same blonde mustache. Shroomkin is a grass-type mushroom with a long mushroom cat hat, which right now has a friendly appearance based on the regular form of Lorna, but it doesn't stay friendly long, because its evolution comes from Auntie Whispers and the monster form of Lorna. But that's not all. The regional Chingling is also based on this pair of characters, as it's a ghost steel type that evolves into Gardenian Chimecho, who's gone from Wind Chime to Metal Bell, exactly like the one Auntie Whispers uses to incapacitate Lorna. This effect of the bell is also reflected in Gardenian Chimecho's ability, Tolling Slumber, which states that when Chimecho is hit by a contact move, its bell will ring and put the foe instantly to sleep. Mannerling is another ghost type that once again has a split evolution based on its gender. Male Mannerling evolve into Indicoot, an eccentric-looking ghoul resembling the wealthy and insane Quincy Endicott. And this, of course, means that female Mannerling evolve into Grey Geist based on Marguerite Grey, who merged mansions with Quincy Endicott, leading to them both believing each other were haunting spirits. Gardenian Mudbray's build is much closer to a regular horse, but its goofy facial expression comes right from Fred, the randomly speaking horse who loved thievery. This desire for wealth shines through in Gardenian Mudsdale, who is decked out in golden armor that it may or may not have obtained legally. And it even has a greedy signature ability called Pay to Win, which has the exact same effect as Quiver Dance, making it a very powerful setup move, but every time you use it, you'll have 500 Pokédollars taken from your wallet. Gardenian Phantump is a ghost dark type, as its tree has completely died off, leaving nothing but an evil goopy spirit to inhabit it. This is of course because Gardenian Trevenant is based on the twisted faces found within the Edelwood trees themselves. But on a much happier note, Gardenian Ducklet is a cute swan that evolves into a giant rideable swan. And this is based on something you may have never even seen before, because it comes from the large swan steed in the original pilot short for Over the Garden Wall, which back then was called Tome of the Unknown. But now it's time to turn it up a notch with Knowledge, a weak little fighting type beaver who may seem like nothing special now, but that's only because it's the first stage of this region's pseudo-legendary. Its evolution, Hackwood, has grown an axe-like tail and gained the steel typing because it's based on the woodsman, the unwilling servant of the beast, who kept his lantern burning to save what he thought was his daughter's soul. Its final stage, Timberwoe, has a tortured appearance that reflects this dark servitude, but at least Next, it also gains the signature attack Timber Cleave, a steel-type 90-power physical move that on the surface seems like nothing special. However, it will always score a one-hit KO on any grass type hit by the move, as its giant axe tail chops their plant body clean in two before placing them in its ever-burning lantern. But now it's time to meet this region's legendaries. Introducing Umbrathorn, a pure dark-type horror covered in appendages that resemble tree branches with skin entirely made of darkness. And its appearance still somehow isn't even half as scary as its signature ability, Soul Harvest. An ability that states the first Pokemon fainted by Umbrathorn in battle will suddenly be restored to full HP and join its team, swapping places with Umbrathorn until that Pokemon faints again, at which point the beast will return. But what's that inside of Umbrathorn's lantern? It's Lanternelle, our other legendary, a blazing fire fairy type based on the spirit of the woodsman's daughter herself, who's been captured by Umbrathorn, who siphons its power and forces it to stay in the lantern, as Lanternelle now beckons through the Gardenian region for a brave hero to save it. Will it be you? If you like today's video, then you'll love this playlist of videos where I made entire regions based on Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. And as always, huge thank you to all the artists that made today's Pokemon. They can all be found in the description, so make sure to go check them out. And I'll see you all in the next video, but until then, be